Hey guys, Anders here with another video. Today we're going to talk about the item drop changes that are coming with this patch, as well as the Marni's Room private grind zone. Both of these updates are incredibly good for PvE. Now first, the item drop changes. What is actually changing? Well, we now have a limit to how much item drop rate boost we can have. That's going to be 300% now, but we do have an additional 100% that can be stacked on top of this 300 by using Arsha and Castle buff. So Arsha buff means that you're grinding on these dedicated PvP channels, either on normal or season versions, and this will give you an additional 50% drop rate if you've reached the cap. And Castle buff is an additional 50% if you're part of a siege guild that owns a region or holds a region. Each castle affects certain regions and gives you a bonus when you grind in that area. So that's 400% drop rate cap if you are in PvP, and 300% if you don't PvP whatsoever. Having limits may seem negative, but already it's fairly difficult to achieve 300% before we had this patch. So additionally, we also have some drop rate events. So those events will now affect Arsha channels. We have that event right now. So if you previously didn't like that Arsha channels weren't affected by these events, well, now they are. It's been requested for a long time now. That's a really good change. We now also have more forms of drop rate buffs. So for example, your family fame will now give you a flat 10% buff if you have over 7,000 family fame, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not that bad once you've been playing a while. Knowledge points also got buffs, so now all tiers give you drop rate bonus, but they have added an additional 2 tiers for those with 9,000 and 10,000 points. You can now get up to 30% item drop rate buff for having 10,000 knowledge points. So we saw these changes in Global Labs a few weeks ago. It's already live in Korea, but I was hoping they were gonna add a way to track how much total item drop rate you have. Otherwise, calculating it yourself was going to be tedious, but sure enough, last week we saw the addition of such a stat in our character stat sheet, so you can now see how much item drop rate you have at any given time and what your limit is. Whether or not we get that in this patch, I'm not entirely sure. The increased drop rate potential is not the only thing that's actually coming with this patch. We now have the revamped zones, so almost all non-Elvia zones have been improved in drop rate in some way. Some have received some more efficient Agris consumption, so that gives you more trash loot per Agris point. Others have increased Caphras or Ancient Dust drop rates, which is really nice. And some have received increased trash loots, and their values have increased, so you have low income areas now actually being competitive with Valencia spots. With this patch, we also received the Marni's Room, which is our private grind zone. I have a video of it in my channel. Essentially, all you need to do is go to your main menu, choose the spot you want to grind, and auto path there. Once you get there, you'll see a prompt on the screen showing you how much time you have left over for grinding in this private zone. If you press the button, you'll instantly be teleported to the same spot with no other players around you, and you're free to grind there uninterrupted for up to an hour and 5 minutes. They gave us the extra 5 minutes to give us some leeway, for buff prep, setting up your tent, going to your horse, that kind of stuff. If you do teleport into the Marni Room, you will need to wait at least 5 seconds to teleport back out if for whatever reason you want to do that. The amount of time we get inside will reset every day at server reset, and the hour or so that we have for Marni's Room will stay that way for the foreseeable future. They do not have plans to increase that amount of time that you get inside the room, at least for now. One important note that has changed since I tested this feature on Global Labs is the per channel limits to how many people can be in the private zones at once. So if there are too many people using the Marni's Room on your channel, you will then be asked to switch servers. It sounds really bad, but honestly, I thought it was really bad. I went on Korean servers at peak hours and off-peak hours just to see if there was any difference, and I never had issue joining the Marni's Room private grind zones. This may only be an issue, I think, on EU servers where there's less time zones with around the same or more even players than NA. So that can lead to more people being active around the same time. NA and EU have the most channels out of any Black Desert region in the world, but EU could see some of that issue with peak hours being full on those Marni rooms. That's just my speculation though. I don't know if that will actually happen. I think regardless, the hour or so limit that you have with Marni's room will make it so that you should have little trouble finding a room to grind when you get home from work or school. And that's pretty much it for the item drop changes. Let me know what you think about these PvE changes in the comments, and as always, thanks again for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.